A judge struck down New York City's limits on large sugary drinks on Monday, one day before they were to take effect, in a significant blow to one of the most ambitious and divisive initiatives of Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg's tenure. In an unusually critical opinion, Justice Milton A. Tingling, Jr. of State Supreme Court in Manhattan called the limits arbitrary and capricious, echoing the complaints of New York business owners and consumers who had deemed the rules unworkable and unenforceable, with confusing loopholes and voluminous exemptions. The decision comes at a sensitive time for Mr. Bloomberg, who is determined to burnish his legacy as he enters the final months of his career in City Hall, and his administration seemed caught off guard by the decision. Before the judge ruled on Monday, Mr. Bloomberg had called for the soda limits to be adopted by cities around the globe. He now faces the possibility that one of his most cherished endeavors will not come to fruition before he leaves office, if ever. The mayor's plan, which he pitched as a novel effort to combat obesity, aroused worldwide curiosity and debate, and the ire of the American soft drink industry, which undertook a multi-million-dollar campaign to block it, flying banners from airplanes over Coney Island, plastering subway stations with advertisements and filing the lawsuit that led to the ruling. Mr. Bloomberg said he would immediately appeal, and at a quickly arranged news conference, he fiercely defended a rationale for the rules, which would have limited the size of sugary drinks to 16 ounces at restaurants, theaters and food carts. "I've got to defend my children, and yours, and do what's right to save lives," the mayor said. "Obesity kills. There's no question it kills." He added, "We believe that the judge's decision was clearly in error, and we believe we will win on appeal." The plan, unveiled last May, was hailed by many public health officials as a breakthrough in the effort to combat the effects of high-calorie, sugary drinks on the public's health. Similar proposals have been put forward in Los Angeles and Cambridge, Mass., even as the idea of a war on soda has become regular fare for late-night comedians. Coffee shops and restaurants around the city had already begun editing menus, retraining employees, and warning customers of the upcoming changes in the sorts of drinks they could and could not purchase. Dunkin' Donuts, for instance, told its employees they could no longer add sugar to large coffees. The measure was already broadly unpopular. In a New York Times poll conducted last August, 60% of New York City residents said it was a bad idea for the Bloomberg administration to pass the limits, although Bronx and Queens residents were more likely than Manhattan residents to oppose it. In his ruling on Monday, Justice Tingling concurred with much of the beverage industry's legal arguments. He said the Board of Health, which is appointed by the mayor, had overreached in approving the plan, and wrote that the city council was the only legislative body with the power to approve such a far-reaching initiative. The administration, Justice Tingling wrote, had interpreted the board's powers broadly enough to create an administrative leviathan, capable of enacting any rules and limited only by its own imagination. The judge also criticized the rules themselves, noting they would apply only to certain sugar drinks. Dairy-based beverages like milkshakes, for instance, would be exempt, and be only enforced in certain establishments, like restaurants and delis, but not others, like convenience stores and bodegas. The rules would create uneven enforcement, even within a particular city block, much less the city as a whole, the judge wrote. Lawyers for the Bloomberg administration said on Monday that it remained confident that the Board of Health, which has been the conduit through which the mayor has pushed through his boldest public health initiatives, including limits on trans fats in restaurants, had the legal authority and responsibility to address obesity in the city. Mr. Bloomberg has some experience in prevailing over legal challenges to his public health initiatives, including his requirement that fast food menus include calorie counts,